Chapter 71 of Married Thrice to Salted Fish. After Gu Fuzhao wrote the letter of guarantee, he solemnly handed it to Lin Qingyu. Lin Qingyu took a look. True to Gu Fuzhao's usual style, it was written entirely in casual speech. Whenever Gu Fuzhao wrote letters to others or wrote his reports to the emperor, he often used refined, graceful words. His literary talent was not particularly remarkable. He was still a head above his military peers. Only when writing something for him did Gu Fuzhao write in whatever way he felt most comfortable. He would even occasionally include a few doodles. Reason told Lin Qingyu that any promise or guarantee was nothing more than wishful thinking on their part. When bad luck comes, how can a piece of paper be able to stop it? But for now, his heart was soothed by Gu Fuzhao's promise and guarantee. Whether it was Lu Wancheng or Gu Fuzhao, no matter how much this person tended to ignore his proper duties, he has never let him down. Lin Qingyu was willing to believe him. Lin Qingyu put away the letter of guarantee. I'm fine. Gu Fuzhao breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time felt a little regretful. A sensitive, vulnerable beauty with eyes rimmed red is truly a rare sight to behold. Being looked at so tenderly by Lin Qingyu, he felt for a few moments that he was in danger falling into inextinguishable burning heat. It seemed that Lin Qingyu only need to say it, and he would give him anything, even if it was getting up early for him for the rest of his life. Lin Qingyu was also feeling embarrassed because of his brief loss of control. He pretended to be calm and collected and said, "Let's go to sleep." All right. Gu Fuzhao lifted the quilt, helped Lin Qingyu to lie down, and then lay down himself. Lin Qingyu's eyes widened slightly. You. Gu Fuzhao's cheeks grew hot, and whilst burning his shamelessness, he covered both himself and Lin Qingyu with the quilt and said, sounding all natural, "I'll coax you to sleep before I head up." You coax me to sleep? Lin Qingyu said with a smile. And who is it who falls asleep as soon as his head hits the pillow? When Gu Fuzhao asked the carpenter to make the bunk bed, he hadn't considered that he would be sleeping with Lin Qingyu in General Gu's body. 2 teenagers in the bottom bunk was just right. Now, it was obviously cramped and crowded. He had changed bodies, and Lin Qingyu also grew a bit. The ill-tempered little beauty of the past had turned into a deep thinking great beauty. No matter how bad his temper, he knew when to restrain himself, finding a way behind their backs to take those people's lives. Only in front of Gu Fuzhao would he unscrupulously expose his malice. Gu Fuzhao laughed and leaned in closer to Lin Qingyu. Their long hair lay scattered on the pillow, intertwining. Want to hear a bedtime story? Gu Fuzhao asked. Lin Qingyu said, "Tell me about your hometown. You seem to be quite interested in this." "I'm interested in everything about you." Oh gosh. Cuteness, aggression. It's so freaking sweet. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can control this much of happiness. Okay. Please, please let this one last for longer. Please, God. I'm not ready for angst. Please, please. Gu Fuzhao smiled. Then, let me tell you about the mobile phone. The mobile phone is a very important tool in my hometown. If one day you go to my hometown and you get separated from me, you can use the mobile phone to find me. You just have to record down this string of numbers first. As Gu Fuzhao spoke, his voice became fainter and fainter, and it didn't take long for him to fall completely silent. To be honest, Lin Qingyu was already surprised that he managed to last so long before falling asleep. Lin Qingyu tugged in the quilt and beside Gu Fuzhao's pillow, closed his eyes. After an unknown amount of time, when he felt that Lin Qingyu's breathing had turned slow, and even for a long time, Gu Fuzhao cracked open one eye, and after confirming that Lin Qingyu was indeed asleep, he opened the other one. Gu Fuzhao's eyes were clear, without the slightest sign of drowsiness. He and Lin Qingyu were laying face to face. Their faces were so close together, he couldn't even see the other's entire face, and yet, even this much was enough to send his heart shaking. He couldn't help reaching out his hand, plucking Lin Qingyu's long silky hair from his forehead and tucking it behind his ear. He said, a quiet whisper, "Good night, Qingyu." Oh my gosh, so sweet. Oh my gosh. This is why didn't want to do commentary. I will be just giggling throughout the entire chapter. The next day was Lu Wancheng's death anniversary. After Lin Qingyu saw Gu Fuzhao off to court, he took Huan Tong and Hua Lu to the Nanan House mansion. Not long ago, in October, Pan Shi had given birth to a healthy baby boy. The lifelessness was swept away from the Nanan House mansion, and it once again radiated with vitality. The happy event put heart into Nanan Hao and thrived in the imperial court. Not only has he tightened his grasp over the Ministry of Revenue, but the emperor also placed great importance in his opinions. When Lin Qingyu arrived at the house mansion, Nanan Hao was at morning court, and it was the Pan Shi who received him. I was wondering just yesterday whether Dr. Lin would be coming today. After giving birth to her child, Pan Shi was in relatively good spirits. Merely that she had gotten a bit more plump. Although she still remained a concubine, the servants of the Hao mansion already regarded her as their mistress. When Pan Shi got pregnant, Nanan Hao probably felt that he was still young and took in several concubines on and off. Since nothing stirred in the bellies of these concubines, they dared not yet stir trouble in front of her. Pan Shi had no intention of competing for favor, so, child in hand, she spent her days managing the household and living a good life. Lin Qingyu said, "It's young Master Hao's death anniversary. Of course, I will come. How is young Master Hao's little brother?" Pan Shi said with a gentle smile, "The little young master is fair and plump. He's a little heavier for babies his age. At the end of last month marked the end of the little young master's first month. I wanted to send an invitation to the general's mansion." Pan Shi smiled, waned a little. But Master Hao said, "Inyang need not say more. I understand." Lin Qingyu looked at Hua Lu from out the corner of his eyes. Hua Lu understood it and took out a brocade box, saying, "This is a log of longevity that the young master had specially made for the little young master Lu. We wish that the little young master may grow up safe and sound." Pan Shi hurriedly got up with the help of a maid. "On behalf of the little young master, allow me to thank Dr. Lin." After the two talked for a while, it was time to make the offerings. Inside the Lu family's ancestral hall, servants laid out cooked food in front of Lu Wancheng's memorial tablet, meaning to let the deceased taste something fresh. Later, they brought in a brazier and Lin Qingyu burned burned paper money as consolation for the dead. Panshi had specially invited monks from Chansang temple to chant sutras for Lu Wancheng. By the time they had finished with everything, it was almost meal time. Panshi was unsure whether to have Lin Qingyu stay for the meal. After this hour, Master Hao should also be coming back. Master Hao most certainly wouldn't want to see this former daughter-in-law of his. Panshi hesitated, but Lin Qingyu didn't take the initiative to leave. Not long after, the steward came to report that Nanan Hao had returned. Panshi looked at Lin Qingyu in embarrassment. Dr. Lin, this... Lin Qingyu smiled slightly. Perfect timing. It has been a long time since I have paid my respects to Master Hao. When Nanan Hao returned to the mansion and saw Lin Qingyu, his mood, already bad because of the death anniversary of his eldest son, was made even worse. Even if Lin Qingyu was now the wife of the great General Gu, he could not bring himself to muster a good expression. What is the general's wife coming to my mansion for? The general's wife is here to pay homage to the eldest young master, Panshi coaxed. He has been very considerate. Nanan Hao snorted coldly and said, When Lin Shi left the mansion that day, we agreed to cut all ties and to have nothing to do with each other in the future. Our Lu family never had any male wife, and the general's wife has neither identity nor distinction in this mansion. Coming here, are you not afraid of incurring the ridicule of others, making the general lose face? Lin Qingyu said indifferently, The general has a broad mind. The state of his home country is central in his mind. How could he possibly care about a trivial matter such as this? Master Hao need not worry for his sake. Nanan Hao was stifled with anger. Are you here to insist on a tie with the Lu family? I have no wish to insist on any tie with the Lu family, only that there is a certain matter pertaining to the Lu family that I need to deal with, Lin Qingyu said. Auntie, if there is nothing else, why don't you go and see the little young master first? Oh, wait, this is the first time he called her auntie. Knowing that Lin Qingyu was going to talk to Nanan Hao alone, Panshi decided to withdraw with the servants. Seeing this, Nanan Hao spoke sarcastically even to Panshi. Do you do whatever he asks you to? Have you forgotten who you belong to? Panshi was stunned. Master Hao. Lin Qingyu didn't have the patience to appreciate the matters of the Lu family's household. Since it is Master Hao who wishes to have so many people speculate, you cannot blame me. What do you mean? Lin Qingyu said. Hualu, go and invite Manager Zhang over. After Lin Qingyu left the Nanan House mansion, Zhang Shiquan stayed in the house mansion to take care of the accounting affairs. He got the news early that morning that Lin Qingyu would be coming today, and he had everything Lin Qingyu wanted ready. So he had already been waiting outside early on. With a stack of ledgers in hand, Zhang Shiquan gave a round of greetings. Greetings to the general's wife, Master Hao, in Yang. Nanan Hao asked Lin Qingyu, Why have you asked him here? Lin Qingyu raised his eyes, and Zhang Shiquan presented the stack of ledgers to Nanan Hao. Nanan Hao picked up the top book and looked at it suspiciously. After a few pages, his expression became more and more solemn. This is... Lin Qingyu said leisurely. Judging from Master Hao's appearance, it seems you had no knowledge of this matter. Nanan Hao turned pale, and everyone waved away, leaving only him, Lin Qingyu, and Zhang Shiquan in the room. What exactly is this? Nananha said. Where did these huge sums come from? And why are they on the account books of the Hao mansion? Zhang Shiquan looked to Lin Qingyu for instructions, and after receiving his approval, he said, What could Master Hao mean? All this money was earned through your second wife, Lan Shi's painstaking efforts. Naturally, it was thus recorded in the Hao mansion's account. Although Nananhao seldom asked about the household affairs, he was still aware of the shops and villages run by the Nananhao's mansion. Such a large sum of money could not have come from the income of several restaurants or villages. Two words popped out in his mind, and he staggered in fright. Master Hao has probably guessed it, Zhang Shiquan said. In today's world, only the illicit salt trade would be able to make such huge profits. According to Dao law, selling more than a certain amount of illicit salt is a capital offense. Surely Master Hao is aware of that. Naturally, Nananhao knew. Not long ago, he had even personally handled a case of a local official operating an illicit salt business. The official's clan had been involved in the sale of illicit salt, and because of the huge amount, he was finally sentenced to be executed. Looking at the sums in the ledger, Langshi's family had been operating at a scale that far surpassed that. Nananhao never expected that Langshi could bring about such a huge disaster even after her descent into madness. He wanted to kill her immediately. That bitch! Eyes bulging, he glared at Lin Qingyu. When did you find out? Why are you only telling me of it now? Lin Qingyu said, Because, just as Master Hao had just said, I have no ties with the Nananhao's mansion, and we have nothing to do with each other. Even if the Hao mansion were to provoke His Majesty's fury and collapse overnight, I will continue to be my general's wife. Maybe the Emperor might even reward me by reinstating me to my official position after seeing my meritorious service in exposing this matter. What do you think? The word expose made Nananhao, long versed in court struggles, shudder in fright. You, Lin Qingyu went on. Unfortunately, the little young master has just reached his first full month. Once this matter is exposed, who knows whether he'll live to see his 100th day? Nananhao spoke irresponsibly. Poisonous woman, actually threatening me with the life of an innocent child? What? Why are you calling a man woman? This dude, I don't like Nananhao too. I want this dude also to, fall. He does not deserve any redemption. Nananhao had lost his sons one after another and had this child in his old age. He regarded this child as more important than anything else. He was desperate to save this child. Threat? Lin Qingyu smiled almost sympathetically. Master Hao misunderstood. I'm simply kindly reminding Master Hao. Zhang Shiquan said, Master Hao, it is your wife's family who is behind this matter. For the sake of young Master Hao's face, the general's wife has kept quiet regarding this matter, enabling you to return to court and regain His Majesty's favor. If I were you, I would be thanking the general's wife. How could you be making unscrupulous charges against him? Nananhao's officialdom had not been for nothing. Lin Qingyu concealed this matter, and suddenly bringing it up now meant that there was something he needed him to do. What he hated most was being controlled by others. But for the Lu family's glory and for the sake of his newborn child, he had to give in. Say it. What do you want? Lin Jingyi smiled with satisfaction. Don't worry, Master Hao. I won't have you do anything that would offend against heaven and reason, nor would I have you do anything that goes against your loyalty to the Emperor. I simply ask that you write a letter and asking the Emperor to confer to the fourth prince his title as feudal king. The Marquess of Nananhao was taken aback. The fourth prince? Exactly. It wasn't only the emperor that Shao Jie had a low sense of presence. The same went for the court ministers. If Lin Jingyi hadn't mentioned it, Nananhao would not have even remembered that this title had yet to be conferred. Nananhao asked suspiciously, Is it that simple? For now, it's that simple. Nananhao was feeling indecisive. The fourth prince was already of age. He had also already left the palace. It was reasonable that he be named feudal king. The granting of this title, though, would risk the crown princess's displeasure. He asked again, Why not have General Gu do this himself? Lin Jingyi snorted. Has Master Hao been scared stupid? Nananhao's anger flared. Don't talk nonsense. The Emperor and the Crown Prince are suspicious of the General, and I do not wish for the General to be implicated. Lin Jingyi said calmly. Does Master Hao understand what I mean? No matter how reluctant Nananhao was, he could only say, I understand. With regards to the matter of Shao Jie's title as feudal king, Nananhao would bring it up in court, but they would also need someone from the harem to provide support. Only then would this be foolproof. The first one Lin Jingyi thought of was the Empress. The Empress used to take good care of him, but ever since he married Gu Fuzhao, she had obviously turned cold towards him. He had gone several times to Fengyi Palace only to be rebuked. The Empress's love and righteousness was reserved only for her own family. In her eyes, Lin Jingyi remarrying someone else before his period of piety expired justified her turning against him. Fortunately, aside from Lu Wancheng, there was one other person in the Empress's family, and for her, he was the most important. On this day, Lin Jingyi had just finished examining the Emperor's pulse. He went to the library of the Imperial Medical Office together with Hu Ji. He had just finished his rotation. Lin Jingyi went straight into the innermost area where there was a locked iron door. He had previously obtained the Emperor's permission to access this room on the grounds that he wished to see all the Emperor's medical records ever since he began suffering from the headaches. The library's guard opened the door. After the two entered, Hu Ji asked curiously, Dr. Lin, what are you looking for? Lin Jingyi said, The sixth prince, Shaoli's medical records.